and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you from beautiful Budapest in Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a great start to their week. Today, students, we are looking at the IELTS speaking section, specifically speaking part 1. Good to see so many students already in class. Hi Anthong, hi Ahmed, hi Arun, hi Noordeep, Khyber, good to see you in class, and Tina as always. Nice to see so many of you. All right, so again, materials, they come from our websites. Join us for academic IELTS at aehelp.com. And if you're studying for the general version of the test, be sure to check us out at gieltshelp.com. We have help for you there in our premium course to pass IELTS. Spend a couple dollars to save a few hundred. Learn from the right materials. Students, if you'd like to ask me questions about the IELTS exam or our products, don't be shy. Send me an email. My name, Adrian, A-D-R-I-A-N, at aehelp.com. And the schedule, let's take a look at that. Classes for live streaming are Wednesday to Saturday. Wednesday, we have one class at this time from 15 to 16 o'clock. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have two classes each day starting at 13:30 Central European Time. First class is a members chat class. Members get these perks as well as access to our 6 original exams. And then the classes are always followed by an everyone chat class. Tomorrow that will be a reading strategy. The class schedule is in the community bulletin board, so you can check it out there. All right, let's go and start off with speaking part 1. Now, this is a speaking class, and although I can't hear you, I can see what you're chatting about in the text, but I can't hear you, so I'd like to imagine that you are saying what I'm saying. Make sure to repeat me nice and loud. So hopefully you're in a place where you can use a good, strong voice and you are repeating questions and answers. Students often focus too much on just answering, but it's just as important to focus on the questions as well. So when you're preparing for the exam, for the speaking section, make sure to practice saying the questions as well as the answers. It's really good to practice in partners and take turns where one of you asks questions, the other answers. Then switch and do it again. So make sure to practice those questions as well. Hi, Patricio. Good to see a member in class also. Okay, so the speaking section of the exam, it's about 12 to 15 minutes in length. It has 3 parts. Today, part 1. Part 1 starts off by introducing yourself. The examiner will ask you some icebreaker questions to make you feel comfortable. When you walk into the examination room for the speaking, take a couple deep breaths. Just relax. It's not the end of the world. You'll do fine. Remember to see the examiner as your grandfather or your grandmother. Okay, so the reason I say that is because people are comfortable when they see their grandfather or grandmother, usually. You speak to them in a nice, loud voice because maybe their hearing is not the greatest. And you speak in very clear, full sentences with full information. Because grandpa, grandma, they're a different generation. They don't know Facebook, they don't know Twitter, Instagram like you do. So make sure to explain your ideas clearly. Okay, the trick to a high band score is answer the question, give a reason for your answer, and often include the smooth flowing example. Okay. Muhammad, good job on that 6.5 in your speaking test. That means you're a fluent to good user of the English language. You should be proud of yourself. All right. Faizan, band 9 is fantastic. That means you're an expert user. That's the highest mark. Okay, so let's warm up with these icebreakers. The first question that you can expect when you get into the room is, may I see your identification, please. What should you answer to this? And make sure to practice this at home. Okay, so what should you say when the examiner says, may I see your identification, please? Tina says, certainly, here you are. Please have a look. Tina, that's beautiful. I can tell you've been practicing. It's clear. Even your comma use is accurate. So good job. Students, let's repeat what Tina wrote. That's a really nice, polite way to answer that. Certainly, here you are. Please have a look, or please take a look. Okay? Amandeep says, of course, here you go. Not here we go. Amandeep, here we go means a different idea. So don't say here we go. Here you go. Okay? All right. Thank you for the compliment, Muhammad. Yeah, absolutely. There's a few ways to answer it. It's really important to be natural in these icebreaker questions. You want to show that you have good pronunciation, good fluency and intonation. So practice these at home. So again, yes, certainly. Please take a look. Okay? And then the next question, as they will match your appearance with your picture and your passport or your ID, with your name is, what is your full name? Again, practice this, be able to say it clearly, quickly. What is your full name? Harminder, Roshni, good to see some more members joining in. All right, so give me your full name. What is your full name? Okay, again, there's a few ways to answer that. You want to be nice and smooth when you're giving this answer. Okay? All right, so we got some good answers coming. Tina says, my full name is Tina Tagipur. Please just call me Tina. That's good. Marasa says, my entire name is Marasa Baraki. Please address me by my nickname, which is Mary. Marasa, that's a good one. It's nice, natural, it's original. You want to sound original. You don't want to sound like you're speaking from pure memory, okay? You want to sound like you're using natural English. Marasa, that's a good answer. So let's take Marasa's for today. My complete name, it's a little bit better, I think, than entire name. Marasa, my complete name is Marasa Baraki. Please address me. That's nice vocabulary. Please address me by my nickname. It's one word, by the way, which is Mary. Now, Marasa's doing something really well here. She's immediately showing a little bit of an adjective clause. So please address me by my nickname, which is Mary. And already that will get you some recognition for using good grammar, which is. Okay, so good job on that one. All right, and then a couple more of these icebreaker questions will follow. So just be ready for them. Practice these at home. These are those questions you hear hundreds of times from English classes, from your tutors, teachers. What is your hobby? What do you like to do on the weekend in your free time? Make sure to practice answers for these kinds of questions. So here's a question that you might get asked, especially if you're taking the exam out of country. Where is your hometown? So again, give me a nice full sentence answer. Now, this isn't where you're born, but this is where you live or where you've grown up, okay? So where is your hometown? It's where you currently live. All right. Hi, Begzad. Good to see you in class as well. Afia Afraz says, my hometown is Mimensing. I am living in Dhaka for study. Okay, Afia, you have a contrast there, so you should voice that, okay? Whenever you say a piece of information that has contrasting or opposing information, make sure you use a word to show that, Afia. So my hometown is Mimensing. However, currently, I'm living in Dhaka for study. Okay, that sounds quite a bit better with that however in there, or although, okay, just to show that contrast. Again, students, remember to repeat me and take notes as well if I'm not writing these down for you, okay? Uh, Justine Montero says, I lived in a small town called Calasiao. Just get back to your comment there. So again, Justine says, I lived in a small town, Calasiao. It is located in the province of Pangasinan. Okay, Justine, that's good. That's a good answer. You're giving a specific location and then the greater area, the province, state, and so on. That's a good idea as well. Mansoor, good to see you in class. One of our members says, my hometown is Rasht. This is located in the north of Iran on the south side of the Caspian Sea. Mansoor, almost perfect. Just that preposition, those are tricky. It's on the south side of the Caspian Sea. Okay? Otherwise, that was good. All right. I'll write up an answer here. My hometown is Victoria, which is the capital city of the province of British Columbia. However, I am currently in Europe, or in Budapest to be more exact, for business. Okay, so there is my answer. Again, students, repeat nice and loud, please. My hometown is Victoria, which is the capital city of the province of British Columbia. However, I'm currently living in Budapest for business. Okay. And then likely you may get one more of these icebreaker questions, or they might go to the general part 1 questions. Here's one more for us today. This is a very common one. Make sure, again, to practice at least a few different ways to answer these. So what do you like to do in your free time? Okay, they might ask you as, what do you like to do in your leisure time? What do you like to do when you're not working or studying? These are all the same questions. So again, have a good answer for this, okay? And be sure to practice a few different ways to answer these questions. So again, be sure to practice answering these kinds of icebreaker questions in a few different ways so you sound natural. Okay? If you sound like you really just memorized a lot of your answers, that will drop your band score, okay? The IELTS examiners are very careful about that. They do not want to give high scores for memorized answers to the speaking or the writing section, okay? So Mehdi Makjab says, I like to read history books when I have a bit of free time. Nice use of a complex sentence there, Mehdi. When I have free time, not when I am free, Mehdi, when I have free time, okay? Let's see some more. Excuse me, I hope that wasn't too loud of a sneeze for everyone. Okay, Hasib says, I like to play cricket in my time off. Okay, I'm going to make a correction there in just a second, as soon as I find it. That should be, I like to play cricket when I am off from work. I am passionate about this sport. So Hasib, I like to play cricket in my off time. Off time in that context is a bit awkward. And don't repeat the word cricket. So use the word sport instead of cricket if you already used it once. Try not to repeat words, students. That's really important to avoid word repetition, because you want to get a nice high band score for your lexical resource, okay? They're marking you on that. And to get a high band score on lexical resource, you don't have to use very fancy or tricky or unique words in English. You have to use a variety of words. That's the more important part of that, okay? So just another important tip here as we go along. To get a high band score, high marks for lexical resource, that basically means your vocabulary. vocabulary. You do not need to use high-level, unique vocabulary or words. Instead, you should focus on using a range of words. Okay? Do not repeat words. Okay? In fact, a lot of times when students attempt to be really fancy with unique vocabulary, they end up making mistakes. They end up using the unique vocabulary in awkward ways. And I know there's videos out there that teach students to use words like plethora and recapitulate and so on. That's fine, but if every student is using that because everybody's watching that video, it's not going to be very special for the examiner. They hear it often. As well, students often use those in awkward ways. So try to be natural. Use a range of words, okay? All right, Begzod says, well, in my leisure time, just get back there. Well, in my leisure time, I like to read novels such as Lord of the Rings and sometimes hang out with my friends. Just this weekend, I went to play football and it was great. Okay, Begzod, just a little bit too many words there, but otherwise very good. So let's take that example. Don't worry, students, I will read more of your responses here in a minute. I just wanted to give you some important tips to pay attention to at the beginning here, okay? So let's take Begzod's. So, well is a nice natural expression to start your sentence, okay? So, well, in my leisure time, it's a nice paraphrase. I like to read fantasy novels like Lord of the Rings and hang out with my friends. Just yesterday, I played a great game of football with 10 of my good pals. Okay, so this is a Band 9 type of response. Look what it contains. It contains natural language. Well, it contains paraphrasing. Instead of free time, it's my leisure time. I like to read fantasy novels. It's very clear. Like Lord of the Rings, it's a specific smooth-flowing example using the word like. And hang out with my friends, a second point. So it adds a bit of complexity, not just reading, but also hanging out with your friends. And again, another smooth-flowing example. Just yesterday, I played a great game of football with 10 of my good pals. Okay? And pals, I'm doing that to avoid repeating the word friends. So again, repeat after me. Well, in my leisure time, I like to read fantasy novels like Lord of the Rings and hang out with my friends. Just yesterday, I played a great game of football with 10 of my good pals. All right, that is a good answer for that question. Okay, students, don't be shy. Keep commenting. I'm going to catch a lot of your comments on these next questions. Now you have a good idea of what you're doing. So after the icebreaker questions, the examiner will say, okay, now for part 1, I will ask you some questions on a general topic. Let's talk about junk food. Okay, so let's talk about junk food. Now, for the exam, they're always looking for new kinds of topics, and they're usually very good at finding them or different ways of asking old topics. So don't try to predict the topic, just be ready for any topic, okay? So junk food comes to mind immediately. What words can you think of? So when you think of junk food, what are some words that come to mind? You should practice at home thinking about words or word association when you hear the topic. Okay, so Marasa and Hasib immediately come up with the idea of fast food, right? McDonald's may pop into mind, being the largest fast food franchise in the world. Chinky Wadwa, good, says tasty and delicious. Yeah, absolutely. We'd be lying if we say that junk food weren't tasty or delicious. So tasty and delicious. Some of you are saying obesity or fattening. Right? Okay. Salty and sweet, Pachu, absolutely. Burger, very good. Burger. Salty and sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody said things like candy yet. Candy, chips, right? Some of our favorite kinds of junk food could be spicy as well. Mouth watering, nice expression by MHD. So mouth, and you can connect that, watering. Okay, yeah, your mouth waters. Absolutely. Farhan came up with that as well. Yummy. Afia, good. Yummy. Absolutely. Why not? Pizza, soft drinks. Fizzy drinks is okay. Soft drinks is a very good way to say it as well. So great. So all of these words are coming into mind. You're visualizing it. You're picturing it. Fantastic. Dessert. Yeah, nobody said that. All right. MHD said it. Okay, so then comes the first question. The first question is frequently a question that looks for adverbs of frequency, like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. So here's the first question, students. How often do you eat junk food? Okay, so be ready for these how often questions. They're very common for part one. So how often do you eat junk food? Answer, give me the reason, and a smooth flowing example. So Kiran Ma'an says, occasionally. Give me some more, Kiran. So occasionally, what does that mean? Once a day, once a week? What is your concept of occasionally? Kyber says, well, I usually eat junk food at McDonald's, which is not very far from my home. They provide high quality food. Just the last couple of days, I went there for eating a burger. High quality food, that's a little bit interesting, Kyber. I think you might have to explain that. Also, we don't say McDonald's restaurant. We just say McDonald's because it's so well known. So it's awkward to say McDonald's restaurant. Okay. Sanjeev Saini says, well, always, whenever I visit a new place with my family, I try some junk food. Kin is, we don't use kin so much in speech. We use family more, okay? Jati Gurm says, I usually eat junk food on the weekends with my friends because on Sundays I'm free from work, so I don't like to cook. I prefer just grabbing something on the go. Jati, I did a little bit of correction there in real time. Pay attention to that, okay? JP says, I am a very health conscious person, so I try to avoid junk food, but still, when I'm away from home, I sometimes can't avoid eating a burger. Like yesterday, I popped into Burger King. Okay, a couple of corrections there. Students, pay attention to my corrections in real time. There's a lot of comments, so I'm correcting you in real time. Just note the time in the video, and you can come back and check it later if you don't catch it, okay? So right now it's showing 23 minutes, 45 seconds, okay? Mark Markey says, I hardly ever eat junk food because I'm a health-conscious person, and these kinds of snacks lead to several medical conditions such as diabetes. Mark, that was good. Again, there were a couple of corrections there for you. With the grammar. Lan Thew, so I don't usually eat fast food, not having usually, Lan Thew, but I don't usually. Okay, let me just try to catch that one again. All right, we'll keep going. New Hyun Nguyen says, to be honest, I eat junk food almost every day. I always have some candies and cookies in my desk at my office, which I like to munch on during my coffee breaks. So New Hyun Nguyen, you have a very good response, just it seems to be lacking the end, okay? So again, to be honest, I eat junk food almost every day. I always have some candies and cookies in my desk at my office, which I snack on during my coffee breaks. That would be a nice way to finish that. New Huey. Okay, my apologies, students, if I don't pronounce some of your names as they should. It's a very international crowd. Yusuf Samir says, I eat harmful food every dinner time. Yusuf, we don't really call junk food harmful food. That's not natural English. So you want to say, I eat unhealthy food at dinner time, such as hamburger or pizza, because I live alone and I don't have time to cook. Okay, that's good. All right. Sure. So here's another way to answer it. I seldom eat unhealthy fast foods because, no comma there, because I'm a health conscious person and I pay attention to my diet. The last time I remember having a burger was about 4 months ago at McDonald's. There we go. All right, so again, students, repeat after me. I seldom eat unhealthy fast foods because I am a health conscious person and I pay attention to my diet. The last time I remember having a burger was about 4 months ago at McDonald's. Okay, nice, smooth flowing example. Again, here is the next question. What is your favorite dessert or snack? Again, paraphrase the question. Give me a full sentence answer, include a reason, and try to put that smooth flowing example in there, just like yesterday or the last time. So don't say for example or for instance. I used to say that's okay, but you want to avoid that because examiners these days will cut you off if they feel like you're going into these long examples, okay? All right. Murasa says, dessert is my first choice. I believe ice cream at McDonald's not only makes me more energetic, but also releases tension for a couple of hours. Murasa, it's an okay answer. There's some grammatical mistakes in there. And it's a little bit awkward to say that it's your first choice. Begza says, well, I really do love eating a homemade burger. Just yesterday, I made 6 mini cheeseburgers and shared it with my siblings. It was very delicious. All right, so your favorite then is a homemade burger, Begzod. Make sure to say that very clearly. So you need to include that in your answer, all right? Use the question. Students, use the question in your answer. So what is your favorite? I absolutely love. Or the number one snack of choice for me is. Okay, so you have to make it clear that it's your favorite. Okay. All right. Afia Afraz says, my favorite dessert is ice cream. I remember I have it just tomorrow. It was very yummy. I think, Afia, you mean yesterday. So my favorite dessert is ice cream. I just had a couple of scoops of cheesecake ice cream yesterday. It was very yummy. Good way to use yummy, Afia. Nice and natural. Okay. Kavita Solanki says, well, chocolate lava cake is my favorite. When I go to McDonald's, I always have it, not take it. I always have it, Kavita. Okay. I love chocolate lava cake, so we'll use that one. Well, my absolute number one choice for dessert is chocolate lava cake. It is simply to die for. There's a nice expression. I ate some just last night after supper. Okay. All right. So that's a great answer. Just repeat after me. Well, my absolute number one choice for dessert is chocolate lava cake. It is simply to die for. I ate some just last night after supper. Simply to die for is an expression in English which means that it's amazing. You love it. It's just fantastic. Okay. We use simply to die for. Yeah. The expression is to die for. Okay. That means that you really, really like it. All right. Okay, keep going, students. You're doing fantastic. Again, remember, writing is cool. It's good. You're getting your ideas out. Don't forget to say these phrases and sentences nice and loud. When I teach you a new word or a new expression, make sure to write it down, okay? All right. Yes, then. Thank you. I noticed that myself. I was just avoiding the extra S's there. But dessert is spelt with two S's. Otherwise, we're talking about the desert, which is, of course, the sea of sand. Okay, so double S. Thank you for noticing that, Than Truong. Okay, students. Next question. Why is junk food bad for health? And some of you have already mentioned this, so if you mention it to a previous question, be sure to connect your answer. So use an expression like, well, as I mentioned previous, it leads to a variety of illnesses like diabetes, right? So connect among your answers whenever possible. That will help you to bump up your band score, okay? All right, so again, full sentence answer, give me the reason. It has to have that. It's a why. And you might even include an example here. Make sure to connect. Okay. All right. Manpreet Shergill says, convenient food is often unhealthy as it is made with low quality ingredients. However, one can easily purchase it from anywhere. I'm not sure how that last part, Manpreet, connects to this question. Don't go off topic. Don't repeat words. Okay. All right, junk food is so unhealthy as it has detrimental effects on the functioning of the human body. Like what? Make sure to explain that, okay? S450 says, I think it contains a lot of calories. You're not just thinking that, S450, it does, right? So be affirmative. Junk food contains a lot of calories, which are harmful when consumed regularly. It will lead to obesity, which in turn causes pulmonary disease. Pulmonary disease means for the heart, okay? Shou Xin Ho says junk food, which contains too much sugar and fat, makes people have a high risk of diseases such as obesity and heart disease, right? Okay, again, watch your grammar, students, and watch that repetition. So, well, as I previously mentioned, eating too much junk food can lead to obesity and pulmonary disease, as it is high in sugars and cholesterol. In fact, I heard that eating a bag of chips each day, every day, can take years off a person's lifespan. Okay, just a kind of fact to throw in there as well. So here, yes, I'm using some unique vocabulary, but you don't have to get too fancy to get those high band scores. If you know these words and you know that you can use them correctly, do so. Well, as I previously mentioned, so I'm connecting here, eating too much junk food can lead to obesity and pulmonary disease, as it is high in sugars and cholesterol. In fact, I heard that eating a bag of chips every day can take years off of a person's lifespan. Okay. All right. Anara Iman Gazieva says junk food is so tasty and easy to prepare, but there are a lot of factors that make them harmful for people's health. Anara, we're not asking why people eat junk food. That's a different question that you're answering. Be very careful, students, to always answer the question that you're being asked. So, why is junk food bad for health? Don't start by saying junk food is tasty and convenient and often cheap, so people buy it, because that is answering a different question. That's answering the question of why do people eat a lot of junk food, okay? Be careful about that, okay? All right, students. Next question. Where do you buy snacks? Okay. The examiner will be switching up the question types. So why, when, where, who. Make sure you practice a variety of these W questions for different topics, like here for junk food. So answer this question for me. Where do you buy snacks? Not people. Careful. This is talking about you. Where do you buy snacks? Begzad says I almost always purchase snacks in KFC as it is located near my home. It takes around 5 minutes to go there. Begzad, very good. Nice use of quantitative language. So it's 5 minutes from your house. That's why you go to KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's right. The Karus says, usually I buy it from the general store and mall, which is located near my home. Yeah, and Karus, you might even throw in the name of the store where you buy it from, if you have the specific name, or the mall, just to give it a little bit more description. Okay. Preeti Sina says, generally, I purchase fast food from McDonald's. Just last Sunday, I bought 2 chicken burgers and enjoyed them with my daughter. Good for you, Preeti. And it's a good answer. I mean, here we're talking about snacks. Snacks and junk food, it's a little bit different. So fast food like McDonald's or KFC are not thought of as snacks. When you hear the word snacks, at least in the US or Canada, people are usually thinking like chips, chocolate bar, soft drinks like Coca-Cola, Sprite, and so on. Okay, so careful not to confuse the word snacks with fast food. Okay. Tarandeep Singh says, I almost always buy my snacks in the grocery store, which is near my home. And sometimes I go to the bakery. Yeah, bakery has snacks like donuts, for example. That's good. Patricio Lordela says, I buy snacks near my home. Just last week, a new snack shop opened close to my house. This has had a bad impact on me because I go there often. Patricio, there are a few mistakes there, and you need a passive sentence in there as well. So careful with that. Okay. Harminder says, I always buy snacks from Sing Sun's Bakery near my home. I especially love their chocolate sprinkled donut. Harminder, it's a good answer, okay? Give it a little bit more flavor by expressing what you buy at the bakery. If somebody tells me they love going to the bakery at Sing Sun's, then my question would be like, really? And what do you suggest I buy from there? What kind of a snack? So include that in your answer, Harminder, all right? Okay. So I most often buy snacks from Big John's Bakery, just a 5-minute walk from my flat. I especially like the jelly donuts and the chocolate milk. Right. Okay, so again, it's good to have details in your, there we go. Okay, so repeat after me. I most often buy snacks from Big John's Bakery, just a 5-minute walk from my flat. I especially like the jelly donuts and the chocolate milk. Okay, that's a good answer. All right, let's keep going with the next question. Have people's snack habits changed in the last 20 years? Now, students, you will notice that the last one or two questions, and this is kind of how you know that part 2 will be coming soon, the last one or two questions will often be a little bit more complex grammatically. So rather than a simple verb, continuous verb, they will use a conditional sentence, or as in this case, using present perfect. So have people's snack habits changed in the last 20 years? Now make sure that when you answer these questions, you really pay attention to the grammar. So if it's present perfect like this, have, then right away you want to reflect that grammar and say, yes, they have, or no, they haven't. In most cases, the answer is yes. So yes, they have, and then continue with how they have changed. Maybe throw in another present perfect to really show the examiner that you've got the idea that this is a present perfect question and you can use this grammar in your answer, okay? So absolutely say, yes, they have, okay, right away. So how have they, and you can take a moment to think about it. So you can even say, yes, they have. Just give me a second to think of how people's habits have changed. And then you can take a couple seconds to think, okay? So Kyber says, of course, people's habits have changed from 2 decades ago, as people used to buy coffee and rice, but these days they purchase burgers and pizza. Kyber, that's a good answer. Just careful with your grammar, okay? Cigar New Pain says, certainly, people used to have local chips back then. Now youngsters indulge in more creamy donuts and cakes. Sure, they've changed in different ways in different parts of the world, so express that, explain that, okay? Pachu says, there has been a lot of change in the habit of snacking. Nowadays, people like sugary and fatty foods, snacks, as where 20 years ago they were healthier. People ate beef jerky and homemade chips, something like that, Pachu. So finish that, okay? Farhan says, certainly snack eating habits have evolved. Very nice, Farhan. Certainly snack eating habits have evolved from something simple like eating dates and nuts to now eating chocolate bars and pies. Very good answer, Farhan, and very accurate. Yeah, that's arguably the biggest change. 20, 30 years ago, people used to eat healthier snacks like nuts and fruits and cheese, but these days we have a lot of processed snacks like chips, donuts, chocolate bars, and so on. Very good. CA Just Meat Singh says, in my country, it has changed tremendously. CA, always name your country if you say it. So in India, it has changed tremendously. Previously, there was more of a craze about healthy snacks, like dishes made with chicken and cheese, but nowadays people love junk food like burgers. Again, snacks, we're referring more to chocolate bars than burgers, but it's okay. Burger's more of a fast food. It's a prepared food. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let me brighten us up here a little bit. There we go. All right, and very good job, students. I see that most of you are paying attention to reflecting the present perfect. So here's an answer. Yes, the munchies or the types of munchies. There's another way to say snacks, munchies, okay? So yes, the types of munchies people eat these days has evolved. I love that word in this context, Farhan. Evolved to a completely different form than a couple of decades prior. Back in the day, people consumed healthier snacks like fruits, nuts, and cheese, as where these days many of us indulge in processed snacks like chips, chocolate bars, and pastries. Okay. All right. So this again, I'm just pushing you always to learn new expressions, to learn some nice vocabulary. Here we go. Repeat after me. Yes, the types of munchies people eat these days has evolved to a completely different form than a couple of decades prior. Back in the day, people consumed healthier snacks like fruits, nuts, and cheese, as where these days many of us indulge in processed snacks like chips, chocolate bars, and pastries. Okay? All right. So again, remember repetition and nice intonation, okay? Last question for part one here. It is obviously a conditional starting with if, and it's kind of a fun one for everybody. If you could open a junk food shop, what would it be? So if you could open a junk food shop, what would it be? Now, these kinds of questions can be surprising. So it may be a very good idea to start with a leading expression to buy time, to get a little bit of time to think, okay? If you've done a good job until this point, they're not going to take marks if you ask for a couple of moments to think about a question like this. So you can say, well, that's an interesting question. I never thought about it. Give me a moment. Well, I suppose, and then lead into your answer. Okay. Let's see. We have some answers coming up. Kyber says, if I had a chance to open a fast food shop, that would be a mixed food and coffee shop, or mixed food and cafe, because nowadays it's not very common, and I loved to do something which has never been done before. All right, Kyber, I'm not sure, maybe in your region of the world, but where I'm at in Europe and in North America, we have lots of coffee shops with a variety of other foods. Ivan, good to see you in class, another one of our members. Ivan says, to be honest, I thought about it. I would open a Russian burger bar and would make some healthy burgers. Very good, Ivan. And yes, if you have thought about it, say that. So to be honest, I've actually thought about that. I would love to open a healthy Russian burger bar that would serve not only vegan burgers, but high quality chicken burgers as well. Good job, Ivan. All right. Justine Montero says, well, if I were given a chance to open a business, that would be a coffee shop. It is in high demand for many young individuals in the Philippines, so it would be successful and I could become rich. Right, Justine? Finish that idea. Otherwise, very good. Okay. Begzlad says, if I had an opportunity to have my own fast food shop, I would definitely love to have a donut market. Not only do I love to eat them, but also there are many types of flavors that I would create, like spicy jelly donuts, right, Begzlad? Something like that, okay? But a good answer nonetheless. All right, nonetheless. Yosef Samir says, if I had a chance to establish a junk food store, it would be a restaurant that makes hamburgers and pizza, which are my favorite meals. Yosef, absolutely. Why not? Okay, so, that's an interesting question. Please allow me a moment to think. Well, I suppose if I were given the chance to establish a fast food venue, it would have to be deep fried chicken, simply because I love it and I could eat it all day long while making money in the process. All right. So here we go. Repeat after me, students. That's an interesting question. Please allow me a moment to think. Well, I suppose if I were given the chance to establish a fast food venue, it would have to be deep fried chicken, simply because I love it and I could eat it all day long while making money in the process. All right, so that is, again, a high-level answer. Notice the unique expressions there. And at this point, the examiner will say, okay, that is the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. And then you are given the cue card for the long part of the speech, which we are not going to cover today because today was focus on part 1. We will do part 2 on the 3rd, which is Friday. So Friday will be the part 2 for the speaking students. Again, if you have questions, email me, adrian@aehelp.com, and definitely check out our websites. This is our academic website here. Click that big red button to join. You have over 100 hours of, or more than 200 hours of video lessons, more than 100 videos. You also have 6 original practice exams, a fully interactive course. And if you're studying for general IELTS or IELTS, check us out on this website. It's gieltshelp.com. The green background, click that red button there to join us. That's it for me for today for this lesson. Fantastic participation. Hats off to all of you. It's encouraging as a teacher to see this level of engagement from all around the world to learn the beautiful language of English. Remember, it's not just for the exam, it's for success in life, and it opens up many, many doors and a much wider world around you. So keep it up. Believe in yourself. We believe in you. Practice does make perfect. Your brain is a supercomputer. It can learn 2 languages, 3 languages, or even more. Don't stress about it. Just keep going forward. Thank you so much, students. Have a great rest of your day and sweet dreams if it's late in your country. Bye for now.